Welcome to Regulatory Lens with Mohi, at Regulatory Lens with Mohi. If you are an overseas healthcare manufacturer looking for your next high-growth market, Saudi Arabia deserves your attention. The kingdom is not only expanding healthcare access, it is rebuilding the structure of the sector, opening the door for global manufacturers, medical device companies, IVD innovators, pharmaceutical producers, digital health firms, and service providers who can bring quality, compliance, and localization capability. The opportunity starts with scale. Saudi Arabia's healthcare market is projected to grow from $152 billion in 2026 to $259 billion by 2032, at a compound annual growth rate of 9.35%. Government commitment is also visible in public spending. The 2026 Healthcare and Social Development allocation is 259 billion Saudi riyals, roughly 67 to 69 billion dollars, depending on conversion assumptions. For international companies, those numbers are more than statistics. They show a market where healthcare demand, infrastructure spending, and private sector participation are moving together. The Invest Saudi Healthcare and Life Sciences brochure explains why. Saudi Arabia has developed a robust institutional ecosystem around the Ministry of Health, the Saudi Health Council, the Saudi Food and Drug Authority, the Saudi Commission for Health Specialties, and the Council of Cooperative Health Insurance. For manufacturers, the Saudi Food and Drug Authority is especially important. It regulates the safety, quality, and efficacy of drugs, foods, and medical devices. That means market entry is not only a sales exercise, it is a regulatory strategy. Saudi Arabia's healthcare system has grown rapidly over several decades, but the next stage is different. Vision 2030 is shifting the system toward private sector participation, insurance-based financing, digital healthcare, patient-centered care, and localization. The brochure highlights 7 transformation themes: patient-centered model of care, health financing, private sector participation, independent governance, human capital, digital healthcare, and corporatization. Together, these themes create demand for new hospitals, laboratories, radiology services, rehabilitation, long-term care, home care, medical cities, digital tools, and advanced clinical products. This is where overseas manufacturers can play a strategic role. The brochure notes that medical devices are highly import-dependent. In the data presented, 98% of medical devices in the kingdom were imported, with only 2% manufactured locally. For manufacturers of IVDs, orthopedics, anesthesia products, nephrology and urology solutions, dental products, hospital supplies, implants, and glucometers, this points to a clear localization gap. And the opportunity is not limited to devices. The brochure also identifies pharmaceutical localization as a national priority, including vaccines, biologics and biosimilars, sterile injectables, APIs, and solid oral dosages.
Vision 2030 strengthens the investment case. Saudi Arabia's reforms support foreign investment, public-private partnerships, headquarters incentives, and greater private sector participation. In selected healthcare activities, foreign investors can own and operate hospitals and health centers under applicable licensing and regulatory requirements. The message is clear. The kingdom wants partners who can bring technology transfer, quality systems, training, manufacturing depth, and long-term commitment. But market access in Saudi Arabia requires preparation. For healthcare manufacturers, the pathway normally starts with a clear product classification and regulatory route. Is the product a medical device, IVD, pharmaceutical, combination product, accessory, software medical device, or laboratory technology? Each route affects documentation, authorization, labeling, post-market obligations, and timelines. Then comes evidence: technical files, quality management certificates, clinical or performance evaluation data, risk management documentation, declarations of conformity, manufacturing site information, authorized representative arrangements, and Arabic labeling may all become critical. Finally, companies need a commercialization plan that matches the regulatory plan. Registration, importation, distribution, tender readiness, local representation, and post-market surveillance should not be treated as separate projects. In Saudi Arabia, they are connected. That is why a strong entry strategy should answer 5 questions. First, which products are highest priority for Saudi market access? Second, what is the correct SFDA pathway and expected evidence package? Third, should the company enter through distribution, local representation, direct investment, manufacturing localization, or a hybrid model? Fourth, how will the company support Arabic labeling, vigilance, field safety actions, and post-market reporting? And fifth, what long-term value can the company bring to Vision 2030 priorities such as localization, training, digital transformation, and patient outcomes? Saudi Arabia is not simply buying healthcare products, it is building a healthcare economy. For overseas manufacturers, this creates a major opportunity, but also a higher standard. Companies that approach Saudi Arabia only as an export destination may miss the bigger picture. Companies that align regulatory compliance, market access, localization, and partnership strategy can build a durable position in one of the region's most important healthcare markets. If your company manufactures medical devices, IVDs, pharmaceutical products, healthcare technologies, or life science solutions, now is the time to evaluate your Saudi Arabia strategy. At Regulatory Lens with Mohi, we focus on practical regulatory and market access insights for healthcare manufacturers entering Saudi Arabia and the wider region. Subscribe for more guidance on SFDA requirements, medical device and IVD registration, localization, and global regulatory compliance. Saudi Arabia's healthcare market is growing. The question is whether your company is ready to enter it the right way.